What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. It's a great day to talk about silver. In today's video, I want to talk about how and why I pay myself in silver and why I've been doing so for the last 7 years. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. 4 super quick things before we fully dive into the video. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3, if you're not already investing and you would like to get started, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple it is to navigate on the platform and learn about the stock market. Webull link in the description. 4th and finally, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, currency sleeves, mini lock boxes, microscopes, the list goes on, any and all stacking supplies and any and all prepping supplies will be linked in the description for your convenience. Okay, so in today's video, I want to talk about how and why I pay myself in silver and gold, but mostly silver. And if the audio sounds a little unusual today, it's because I am filming this video from my car. That's right, we have another cold, disgusting, rainy day here in New Jersey, and I have a little bit of time in between an appointment and work. Figured I'd knock out a video or two. But I wanted to talk about paying myself in silver. Now, funny enough, the way this concept was discovered, or the way that I discovered this concept, kind of goes all the way back to how I was first introduced to silver in the first place. Now, I'll make this portion of the story very short. But a couple years after high school, I reconnected with a childhood friend of mine. He moved, I think, probably around middle school. So we went to different high schools. He moved to a different state. Went those couple of years, not seeing each other, not talking to each other, not really hanging out, nothing. Reconnected after high school, and I told him, you should come on back to New Jersey, come visit the gang. We have a little tiny landscaping business going on, and, you know, we're doing it with a bunch of friends that you probably remember from back in the day. So he came out to New Jersey to hang out for a day, and he told me that he doesn't have any special way of making money other than just his job, but he has a pretty special way of saving money. And he let me know that every week on payday, he takes enough currency bills to the local coin shop and he picks himself up 2 silver coins. Now, at the time, this was about a year, maybe a year and a half before I started stacking. This is the first time I had ever in my life heard about the silver stacking concept. It made sense to me, but at the same time, it didn't. I got it, but at the same time, I didn't get it. It didn't fully register. I was like, okay, I kind of see where you're going with this. Didn't fully click, though. But he introduced that concept to me. Sure enough, a year and a half later, something jogged my memory, and I was like, you know what was he talking about? Silver. Getting silver for, like, you know, fighting off inflation, or how it can go up in value over time. Like, what was he talking about? Like, I don't know what it was that, you know, reminded me of that, but something did, and I started doing some research. I don't know why it took me a year and a half after we had the conversation for me to start doing the research, but for whatever reason, I started doing my research. I started looking at a lot of charts, looking at a lot of graphs, looking at the timeline, reading through a lot of articles, and watching some channels right here on YouTube that were already talking about silver. Now, at the time, there were really only 4, maybe 5 like prominent stacking channels back then, and all but two I found pretty boring. The two that actually made sense to me were the ones that I really stuck with, and I learned a tremendous amount from. And I decided for myself, you know what, I'm going to go to the local coin shop and I'm going to pick up my very first piece of silver. So I did. This was December of 2017. Moving into 2018, I started obviously learning more as I was going and discovering more, becoming more knowledgeable, becoming more informed, not just about coins, but world events that could play a role in affecting the spot price, and everything related to financial news started to interest me a little bit more, and I started to become a little bit more well-rounded when it came to really all things finance. But in 2018, that's when I kind of thought to myself, you know what? Not only am I paying myself in silver, but I think I'm really onto something here. And I'm not buying silver, if you think about it. I'm not purchasing coins, rounds, or bars, if you think about it. I'm converting my currency into real, true, honest money. See, what do we do? Like, what do we ultimately do? What does our 40-hour, 50, 60-hour work week look like? Regardless of your profession, regardless of your career, regardless of the industry, what are we doing? We all have one thing in common. What are we doing? We're trading our time for dollars. We're selling our time. And it hurts my soul to think about it, because at the end, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's the harsh reality. We are taking our most valuable asset, our time, the one thing on the planet that we cannot get back, the one thing in the world that you can't purchase, you can't borrow, you can't rent. You could sell it, but you can't buy it. When it's gone, it's gone. And it reminds me of back in 2013, 2014, I was doing a lot of reading, and I remember somebody saying that you can find $5 on the ground, but you'll never find 5 minutes. You can buy yourself a watch, but you can never buy back your time. And I was like, wow. Smacked in the face by reality there. And it kind of changed my outlook on working traditional jobs. Trading your time for dollars. I'm giving away my most valuable asset in exchange for pieces of paper that are losing purchasing power at rapid speed. So it kind of doesn't really make sense. I'm trading away something that's fleeting and will eventually come to an abrupt end for fake fiat glorified IOU debt note dollar bills that are depreciating in value. To me, that doesn't really sound right. To me, that doesn't seem fair. When you really break it down and look at it from that angle, it's pretty messed up. And when I came to this conclusion and started to realize and understand that taking the currency notes that I'm given in exchange for my time, my most valuable asset, far more valuable than silver, far more valuable than gold, far more valuable than anything in the world, my time. What I can do after I trade that time for these dollars, which Uncle Sam is always kind enough to reach over and take his cut before it even hits my checking account, so I don't even get the full amount that I'm supposed to be getting. I said, okay, yeah, I'll trade an hour of my time or a year of my life for a certain amount of currency, and that certain amount of currency isn't even what I get. I only get, a majority of it, but I don't get the full amount, which makes it even more unfair. But after I'm done trading my time for these dollars, and I set aside enough dollars to make sure that my living expenses are taken care of, keep a roof over my head, keep food in the fridge, keep my car on the road, and what's left over You can really do 4 different things. Number 1, you can waste it. A lot of people do that. Most people do that. 2, you can spend it on something wise, something that'll make your life a little bit easier. 3, you can invest it, send those dollars to work for you, and generate more dollars. Or 4, you can convert it into something to protect purchasing power, convert it into something that stands a better chance at survival than the dollar bill. Now, why do I think silver stands a better chance of survival? Well, the concept of the US dollar is relatively new compared to silver and gold. Silver and gold has precious metals. They've been money for thousands and thousands of years. The US dollar, especially ever since taking off the gold standard, has been losing purchasing power. This right here is depreciating in value. These right here remain the same, but everything else becomes more expensive. Or is everything remaining the same and these things becoming less valuable? So why hold on to them long term? Sure, I can see holding on to them the short term if you're saving up for something, if you're saving up for a large purchase. Maybe a gold bar, maybe a new car, maybe down payment on a house, something like that. Sure, that's all fine and dandy. Nothing wrong with sticking that cash in a savings account in the meantime, but a savings account for 5, 10, 15 years out, no bueno. So what I started to do was every time that I got paid, I would set aside enough to make sure my financial responsibilities would be taken care of, and what was remaining at the time in 2018, I would take dang near 100% of those leftover dollar bills, and I would go get some silver. I would hit the local coin shop. I would order a little bit of silver online. And I would make sure to continually add to my stack of silver, regularly and consistently. Because I personally believe that small steps in the right direction can and will eventually take you to where you want to go. It compounds over time. Not to say that silver pays interest or pays a dividend that can get reinvested or restacked. Imagine that. Imagine a 10-ounce silver bar spitting out a little 10th-ounce silver bar. That'd be pretty cool, but that doesn't happen. Silver does not pay interest. Silver does not pay a dividend. Doesn't work that way. But every week or every 2 weeks, I would take the leftover dollars, and I was, at the time, aggressively stacking. I was trying to get the weight up by as much as possible. I don't care if all I could afford was 2 ounces of silver. I don't care if I could get 10 ounces of silver. I don't care if I can get 30 ounces of silver. However much or however little I can get my hands on is what I would go after. And that's what I did the entire year of 2018. And fortunately for me at the time, the spot price of silver back then had dropped all the way down to $14. Premiums back then, pre-COVID crash premiums, hardly existed. The premiums on silver back then, $1 over spot for a silver round, $1.25 over spot for a maple leaf, $1.50 over spot for a silver eagle, no problem. Nowadays, it's a little bit different. Now to get a generic silver round, you'd be lucky to find a silver round that carried a $2 or $3 premium. It's probably $3 or higher. Maples, eagles, a lot of the time, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 over spot. The world was a very different place back in 2018. Spot price was low, premiums were super low, and I was aggressively stacking as much silver as I could possibly get my hands on. Every week or every other week or once a month. March of 2018 is when I picked up my first little teeny tiny piece of gold. I picked up a little bit more toward the end of the year. Moving into 2019, I started to diversify a little bit more. I started getting some 90% silver. I would pick up a little bit of gold slightly more frequently. And regularly convert my dollar bills into silver. And what was I doing by doing this? What was I doing? I was paying myself in silver and gold, but mostly silver. I was paying myself. That was my way of paying myself. You know how they say pay yourself first? That's what I was doing. And I was doing it in the form of silver coins, rounds, and bars. Regularly, consistently, and at the time, very aggressively. 2020, I got what I could, but 2020 was a very unusual year for obvious reasons. 2021, I kind of took my foot off the gas a little bit. I slowed down and I focused a little bit more on investing my dollars to create more dollars as opposed to just storing value. But that doesn't mean I parked the car. I still kept getting silver. I still kept adding to the stack. Not as aggressively. But I was still picking up silver. I was still paying myself in silver. So that's the way I saw it. Starting in 2018, I was like, you know what? I'm really not buying silver, if you think about it. It's not really a purchase, if you think about it. It's just a conversion. See, if I were to go to Canada, I could trade my US dollars for Canadian dollars. If you go to any other country, you could trade one currency for another. Dollars for pounds, pounds for euros, euros for pesos. You can convert one currency into another, whether it be the paper bills or whether it be coins. You can convert one currency into another. So the way I saw it was, sure, the US dollar is US currency, but silver is internationally, constitutionally, and biblically recognized as money. This right here, these silver coins, rounds, and bars, that was the original currency. True currency, real money. Not fake fiat currency, real money. So is it really a purchase? Is it really a buy? I don't know. Yes and no, but, the part of me that says no wants to say that it's just simply a conversion. Converting something that is declining in value for something that can protect that value from declining. And a lot of the time you'll notice that silver, over a period of time, I'm not talking about weeks or months or even a year, I'm talking about 5 years out, 10 years out. I mean, look at where we are today compared to where we were 5 years ago. Spot price of silver 5 years ago. What was the spot price of silver in April of 2020? About $16, $17-ish. This was after the COVID crash knocked it down from $18, $19 to $11 and change. It started creeping its way back up a little bit, and obviously the premiums went through the roof, but the spot price of silver alone went to about, $17, $18. And this was before the massive inflation did damage to the dollar. It's when it got started, but we didn't see the ramifications until a little while later. And the dollar bill lost, in the last 5 years, probably lost about half of the purchasing power as it had. Half of the purchasing power that it had left after the decades-long decline it had already seen. What was left in the tank got cut in half over the last 5 years. Meanwhile, take a look at silver. Like I said, where was it about 5 years ago? $16, $17? Where is it today? $30, $31, $32-ish dollars as I'm filming the video. So silver has gone up approximately just as much as the dollar went down. And this is something that you'll notice a lot of the time. Gold as well. This is something that you'll see. Not over the course of weeks or months or a year, But over the course of 5 years, 10 years, especially 5-10 years of a decline. See, we just kind of had 5 pretty rough years. Or 3 pretty rough years, but it's a 5-year window. And all 5 of those years have been rough for a lot of people. So, 5 years of economic turmoil and financial hardships, and way higher than typical inflation, did some serious damage to the dollar bill. And silver, it's almost like a mirrored image. The dollar went down pretty much the same amount, percentage-wise, as silver went up. And gold. And this is what you'll see a lot of the time. Over the course of a long period of time, long-term vision connected to economic hardships, this is what you'll see a lot of the time. Now, when times are good, if we get to the point where the economy is booming again, and everybody's making money, everything is growing, everything is expanding, if we get to that point again, could restore a little strength in the dollar bill, and maybe silver and gold won't have the best reaction to that, because for precious metals, good news is bad news and bad news is good news. But guess what? That good news for the economy leading to bad news for the precious metals, from my perspective, leads to good news for the stackers, because that means we can get silver for a cheaper price. See, if the stock market is going through the roof and the precious metals are, kind of maybe either stagnant or on a little bit of a decline or lagging behind, that just means we can get it for cheaper. We can pay ourselves in silver for cheaper. We can get more silver for our dollars, or the same amount of silver for a smaller amount of dollars. So these are just some of the realizations, some of the conclusions that I came to. In 2018, I started to realize, I was like, wow, like if you think about it, I kind of win either way. If I get the silver and it goes up in value, good for me. If I get the silver and in the short term it goes down in value, I can get even more silver for cheaper, and I can lower my average cost. And if the spot price of silver continues to decline or stays kind of flat for a while and the economy is booming, guess what? That's also a win. Obviously, because I can get silver for cheaper, but who in their right mind doesn't want a booming economy? I do. I want business to get even better. I want to be able to make more money. I want my investments to go up even more. So I feel as though I kind of win either way. And all I have to do is pay myself in silver, which doesn't take any time, doesn't cause me any headaches, and it acts as kind of like a physical at-home savings account. I pay myself in silver, and then I stick it in the physical at-home savings account. So that's how I go about doing it. And that's how I've gone about doing it for the last 7 years. End of 2017, all of 2018, all of 2019. We had some trouble in 2020, but I did the best that I could in 2020. Early 2021, still kept it going, but took my foot off the gas. Still continued getting a little tiny bit every here and there for the rest of 2021, 22, 23, 24. And now that it's 2025, oh yeah, we're back. And I'm excited. I'm excited to raise the bar a little bit in terms of how much I'm paying myself in silver. Right now, I'm not really doing the bare minimum like I was the last couple of years. I'm kicking it up a notch. That excitement's back. That enthusiasm's back. That interest is back. And people are hyped up about it right now. It's a lot to talk about. But I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know. What are your thoughts on the idea of paying yourself in silver? Is that how you see it as well, or do you see it in a completely different way? Whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. And what's next on your to-stack list? Which coin, round, or bar are you going after next? Let me know in the comments. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos and follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. 4 super quick things before we wrap up the video. Number 1, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. We have the brand new It's a Great Day to Have a Great Day t-shirt and coffee mug. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. 2, if you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. That's right, it's a healthier alternative to the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now. I will leave an affiliate link in the description so you can try out the different flavors. 3, if you're not already investing and you'd like to start investing, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so, and they make it really easy for a new investor to start investing because of how simple it is to navigate on the app and learn about the stock market. Webull link in the description. I actually want to help 3 people this month learn about the stock market and guide them through kickstarting their investment portfolio. So if you want to be one of those 3, reach out to me on either the comment section here or Twitter or Instagram. And then, of course, 4, if you need any silver or gold stacking supplies, airtight tubes and capsules, anti-tarnish paper, mini lock boxes, microscopes, currency sleeves, the list goes on. Any and all stacking supplies and any and all prepping supplies will all be linked in the description for your convenience. And once again, I want you guys to let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts on everything I shared in today's video? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you see it the same way? Do you see it somewhere different? When you convert your dollars into silver, is that how you see it? Do you see it as a conversion, or do you just simply see it as a purchase? Do you see it as a buy? Did you buy something, or did you convert your dollars into something? Did you get you some silver, or did you just pay yourself in silver? Let me know in the comment section down below anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.